Chief John Garton told me that Patrolman Winters resigned this morning. This is video of Officer Winters during some of his time with the department. He was a member of the force for 5 years and was named as a defendant in 4 different suits against the city of Dunbar, 2 for excessive force and 2 wrongful death cases. No charges were ever filed. In all of those cases, the city of Dunbar settled those lawsuits. His resignation comes, though, after Chief Garton confirms that Officer Winters wrecked his police cruiser while getting onto the turnpike in Raleigh County back on July 13th. This is video of the incident. I had a chance to talk with the chief tonight, and while he didn't go into specifics about Winters' resignation, he says that this is a chance for the city to move forward.
Moving forward, like we were 9 months ago when I got hired to take over the chief of police position, and we're going to do it legally and lawfully. We're going to do, everybody's going to be held accountable, and everybody has consequences to their actions, and we're going to hold them accountable, because I think the citizens of Dunbar deserves that, and they want that as I. So.
Tonight, we reached out to the attorneys who handled the civil suits against the department. They said that this news about Winters' resignation, it is rewarding as civil rights lawyers to know we played some role in effectuating change for the community. In the cases involving Officer Winters, he cost the city and their insurers over $3 million. While we don't know all of the reasons why Winters is no longer a Dunbar police officer, we can tell you, based on the lawsuits we pursued against him, Dunbar is a safer place and the community can begin to heal. At tonight's Dunbar City Council meeting, they discussed that they will now begin the hiring process for vacancies within the police department. In the newsroom, Riley McMoyle, 13 News.
A former local deputy and current reserve officer is facing felony charges, including abuse. 41-year-old Michael Mulliner is charged with injury to a child and minor under 16 years of age. According to court documents, the out-of-state police interviewed Mulliner back in March. ISP, as well as Jerome Police, interviewed the victim, who claims that Mulliner had, quote, choked her out following a disagreement. He told police he lifted her off the ground and grabbed her by a jawline, carrying her 10 to 12 feet. The victim also told investigators that he committed a lewd act and he had a history of abuse, but Mulliner denies both of those accusations. Now, documents reveal that he used to work for the Gooding and Jerome County Sheriff's offices as a deputy before joining the Jerome Police Department as a reserve officer. According to Jerome Police, Mulliner is currently on administrative leave. His bond is set at $150,000. He's due back in court for a preliminary hearing on June 12th.
Good morning. Welcome to the Bad Apple Report. It's 7:30 a.m. bright and early right here at home on the range. Thank you so much for being here today, folks. I really appreciate it. We're going to start it out looking at these mugs. That's right. That's not even their mug shots. That's just their happy mug. Okay. What did they do? Well, they made it on the Bad Apple Report. And just, I'd like to ask respectfully to all the bad apples that watch the show, when you get busted, would you mug for us? Mug Purdy for us, because I'm going to put you on the cover, just like these knuckleheads. These 2 Waysboro police officers have been indicted by special grand jury for alleged on-duty crimes. I'm saying they did it. Waysboro, Virginia, on July 18th, 2 members of Waysboro Police Department were indicted by a special grand jury on several felony charges after an on-duty incident back in April. What happened? It reportedly occurred on April 6, 2025, between several officers at an undisclosed location on the south end of the city. The reported incident potentially violated the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia. What did they do? Dirty cops. WPD said in a press release statement that to ensure that a transparent and impartial investigation was completed, it requested an external investigation by the Virginia State Police and the Waysboro Commonwealth Attorney's Office. And WPD said the accused officers were placed on administrative leave and that their police powers are suspended pending the outcome of the investigation. Well, what did they do? 30-year-old Corporal Jacob W. Moore, who's the one with the big ears there, goofball, evil-looking dude, is a 7-year employee of the department. He has been charged with the following offenses: assault and battery of a law enforcement officer, a Class 6 felony. Whoa! Disarming a law enforcement officer of a firearm, a Class 6 felony. Well, some pigs in a poke. He was arrested on July 21st, 2025 and released on a personal recognizance bond. Okay, here's the other guy, 29-year-old Officer Joseph M. Meadows. Grumpy-looking goofball, he's pictured. He was also indicted with a 1.5-year employee of the department. Well, just getting started there, Goofy. Okay. So, it says here, he's charged with the following offenses. Okay, Joseph Meadows, what are you charged with? Meadows was charged with assault and battery of a law enforcement officer, Class 6 felony, disarming of a law enforcement officer. Damn. Meadows was arrested on July 21st, 2025, and released on a personal recognizance bond. The indictments will now proceed through the circuit court. The department said after the criminal matter concludes, it will conduct an internal investigation to assess whether involved officers violated department policies. According to the blah, 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 and this and that and the other, in a statement, oh no, we're not going to read that. You know what they were going to say. We're not all like these guys. Yeah, you are. Just watch the rest of the show and I'll prove it. Okay, thanks for being here, folks. On with the show.
A Pierce County Sheriff's deputy is under investigation by the Washington State Patrol for vehicular assault and DUI after allegedly crashing his truck into a family's SUV in Graham. Tonight, WSP is identifying him as Major Chad Dickerson. Fox 13's Jennifer Dowling spoke with neighbors who responded to the crash after hearing it at a nearby intersection.
It happened in a very rural area, and neighbors say that the boom from the crash was so loud they thought that a large tree had fallen over until they heard screaming coming from the crash scene.
Just behind his front wheel is where he got hit, impact, and the wheel was barely hanging on.
Neighbors say the deep grooves in the dirt helped to tell the story of what happened here July 12th.
There was broken glass, plastic everywhere.
The Washington State Patrol says Major Chad Dickerson from the Pierce County Sheriff's Office failed to stop as he traveled north on 132nd, crashing into a family of 6 in a white Ford Expedition on 288th.
They went that way, and it made him turn this way.
Neighbors say the family's SUV hit this utility box, veering to the right, where it rolled onto its side. The Major's truck traveled to the left of the pole, hitting the ditch head on.
The kids were crying.
WSP says 3 kids, ages 8, 4, and 3, were in the SUV, along with a pregnant 27-year-old mom, 30-year-old dad, and grandmother.
One lady was hurt, and there was an older lady that was in real bad shape.
A man named Chris, who declined an on-camera interview tonight, ripped out the shattered windshield to help the family escape.
He did a great job.
He passed the 3 young kids out of the SUV to their parents and other neighbors and went inside to carry out the grandmother.
Carried her right over there and laid her down.
Neighbors say Dickerson did offer assistance, but the dad declined.
He was trying to help, but they didn't want to accept his help.
Fox 13 was in court when Dickerson was wheeled in. The sheriff's office says he was in his personal truck and was seriously hurt, along with another person in the SUV. According to court papers, the sheriff's office initially responded, and once they realized Dickerson was part of their department, they requested WSP take over. Troopers suspect he was driving under the influence and failed to stop.
I think it's very tragic. I think that people should not drink and drive if that is the case, but I'm also for due process. It's an allegation of drinking and driving resulting in vehicular assault, and if that ends up being the case, then the trial will move forward or the case will move forward. But in the meantime, I'm going to, like everybody else, they're innocent until proven guilty.
As of tonight, he's on administrative leave, and according to the Pierce County Jail roster, he is now out on bail. Reporting from Pierce County, Jennifer Dowling, Fox 13 News.
Okay, here's a public service announcement, a warning. If you're in Arkansas, particularly Van Buren, and you hear banjos, you need to paddle faster, okay? Because you're in Van Buren. And we're reporting a Van Buren police officer who has been arrested for allegedly internet stalking a child, okay? And he's got these tattoos and stuff that indicate that that's the kind of thing that he does. He's in that gang, that cop gang that does stuff like that. Allegedly. All right. But I think we know what his defense is going to be, you guys. And this is just alleged, but this guy's going to say he was just courting her. You know what I mean? It's what they do in Arkansas when you're a cop in Van Buren. He was just courting her. And to prove it, when he got to her window outside, he was going to throw a brick through the window just to signal his intent to marry her, to do it all proper. Okay, let's get on with the show here. Van Buren, Arkansas. The Arkansas State Police, in conjunction with multiple law enforcement agencies, arrested a Van Buren police officer for alleged felony internet stalking of a child. The ASP, Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force, and the Van Buren Police Department, the Crawford County Sheriff's Office, and the Homeland Security Investigations all contributed to the investigation. They all knew he was going to do it. He had it tattooed right on his arm, allegedly. On Monday, July 21st, 45-year-old Jason, S-C-I-T-E-S, Cites. Okay, Cites. He was taken into custody following an investigation that revealed evidence of inappropriate communications between Cites and a minor. Cites was relieved of duty and transported to the Crawford County Detention Center. Cites. VBPD Chief Jonathan Weir terminated Cites after his arrest and submitted a request for decertification from the Arkansas Commission of Law Enforcement Standards and Training. Oh, okay. That's where they remove his Razorback status. That's all we know about Mr. Cites. Okay. Thank you for being here, folks. Let's move on with the show.
New at 6 o'clock, a Harris County Sheriff's deputy is now at the center of an internal investigation.
He is accused of leaking photos and sensitive body camera video taken on the job to his family and friends. Investigative reporter Jeremy Rogowski joins us with the exclusive details this evening. Jeremy.
Yeah, Mia, that deputy is off the street while Internal Affairs investigates. The images he allegedly shared range from a domestic violence call to inside a hospital room.
I feel violated in every sense of the word.
It was a vulnerable time for Cara Finnenan back in March. Deputies were at her door investigating a family member's possible criminal activity, all while she had just lost her unborn twins.
That's private health information. Whose business was that? Why was that anybody's business?
A responding deputy allegedly made it his business by sharing this video of Finnenan in the ER, along with a photo and text. She has an active miscarriage, as well as a picture of her Texas state ID.
All of it is private. All of it was private. All of it was private.
And it's not the only private or sensitive information Deputy Brandon Chrismon Stewart is accused of sharing with family and friends.
I just got hit in the eye.
This is his body-worn camera video during a domestic violence call.
Before I knew it, he had me pinned up against this wall.
This is body cam video of a suspect with a knife.
Put that knife down.
And these are photos that we blurred for privacy of a gunshot victim in the hospital and two young girls in the back of his patrol car with the deputy writing on a call where two women stole out of Sephora with their kids in the vehicle. When we asked the sheriff's office about their unauthorized release, a spokesperson said Deputy Chrismon Stewart was relieved of duty with pay on June 4th. An internal affairs investigation into the allegations you described is ongoing.
It just break my heart.
Cara Finnenan believes the deputy no longer deserves to wear a badge.
You're supposed to be able to trust the police. You're supposed to be able to trust the people who are supposed to protect and serve you.
Records show Deputy Chrismon Stewart was hired on at the Sheriff's Department back in October 2023. We reached out to him multiple times by text and voicemail. The department confirms he did receive our messages, but Len, so far the deputy has not gotten back with any comment.
Not surprising. We'll see what happens. I know you stay on top of it. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we've got another crooked nose cop from the crew. That's how they do it. They haze them. They punch them in the nose and turn them into bad apples right off the bat. Allegedly, this West police officer has been arrested in Waco on DWI and weapons charges. Police officer with the West Police Department was arrested on DWI and weapons charges early Monday morning in Waco. Billy Wayne Ludke. Oh, Billy Wayne. Who is also a former jailer with the McLennan County Sheriff's Office and a former Lacey Lakeview police officer. He's charged with DWI and unlawful carrying of a weapon. Oh, so he must have known, should have known, that was illegal to do what he was doing. The arrest was made at about 1:30 a.m. on July 21st. A Waco police officer was patrolling the area near the Backyard Bar, Stage and Grill. Woo! when he spotted a driver in a Ford F-150 leaving the bar at an accelerated rate of speed. Whoa! Those Jaeger bombs. They're like road rage bombs, allegedly. That's what I'm just saying they are. The officer followed the F-150 and noticed the driver was swerving within his lane and drifting from side to side on multiple occasions. Okay, as the pickup approached South 8th Street, the driver failed to turn his signal on, and then further, the driver of the pickup failed to turn into the inside lane and failed to signal a lane change. Oh, that's a whole lot of failure there. At that point, the police officer initiated a traffic stop there at South 11th Street and Jack Colgan Expressway. Oh, right over there. The police officer identified the driver of the pickup as Ludke and immediately detected the odor of an alcoholic beverage emitting from the vehicle. Okay, Ludke. And according to the warrant, the officer noticed Ludke had bloodshot, glossy eyes and speech was slurred. Okay. He admitted to consuming 2 alcoholic beverages. They always say that. And the police wrote in their warrant, Ludke exited the vehicle, stumbled on his way to the police officer's unit. That's what the document states. And that Ludke was taken into custody, and a search of the F-150 turned up 2 weapons. Police said a handgun in a holster just to the right of the driver's seat, and a second gun and Ludke's belt in the back seat, the warrant states. Well, he did have the proper amount of guns. I mean, okay. At the McLennan County Jail, Ludke refused to provide a blood sample, and officers had to obtain a warrant in order to draw his blood. Ludke was booked into jail on the 21st, but he's since bonded out. You made it on the Bad Apple Report, Ludke. Okay, all right. Thanks for being here, folks. And we're going to move on with the show.
On the other side of the law. Thanks for joining us live at 5. I'm Jamie Bowl.
And I'm Kim Anderson. Today, prosecutors offered a play-by-play of the moment he's accused of killing a man.
Yeah, Carlos Uribe is charged with second-degree murder. Today, he went before a judge for the first time.
WBTV's Michael Warwick reports from Catawba County, where prosecutors are trying to prove this officer was wrong for using deadly force.
District Attorney Scott Riley put it plainly in a statement, writing, quote, "No one is above the law and no one is beneath its protection." Talking to folks in this community today, they want justice to be served no matter the circumstance. This is our first look at 21-year-old Camden Childers, the motorcyclist shot and killed by a Newton police officer. That officer, Carlos Uribe, appeared in court Tuesday facing a second-degree murder charge.
Yeah, I mean, all we can hope for is a fair and just trial. If he's guilty, he's guilty. You know, we're all looking for justice, I think. Yeah. Cops aren't exempt.
At the end of the day, justice needs to be justice. They need to let the courts do what they need to do.
Newton police chased Childers after they say he was driving recklessly without registration. When the chase ended on Northern Drive in Conover, prosecutors allege Uribe kicked Childers despite his hands being up. After Childers fell, they say Uribe shot him and remarked, quote, "That's what you get for going for an officer's gun." The state argues body cam video shows Childers never tried reaching for Uribe's weapon.
I would hope that it was an accident or, but if not, he needs to pay for it just like anybody else. Being a cop doesn't stop him from paying.
The district attorney says in 6 years and 15 officer-involved shootings, this is the first case where he found the use of force was not justified. We talked to a member of the Childers family today. They said they're being asked by their attorney not to speak right now. However, they did say that this week's indictment is an encouragement. A judge today set Uribe's bond at $100,000. In Catawba County, Michael Warwick, WBTV, on your side.
Okay, we'll leave it with that today. Thank you so much for being here to watch the Bad Apple Report with me. And since we're not going to run out of bad apples, we'll see you right back here tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. bright and early. I hope you have a great day.